Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of The Weekly, your source for trends and innovations we're seeing in the marketplace. Another week in Philly, another big snowstorm. I'm like, why not just let it keep coming? And frankly, it's been a lot of fun. Today is also Super Bowl Sunday. I'm rooting for the Chiefs. Never been a big Brady fan. But the big question on my mind is, who's Boston rooting for? If Brady wins, it's like maybe Belichick wasn't that great. So be interesting. I'm going to have to call a couple Boston people tomorrow. And the big news of the weekend, my mom, who's 89, I took her down. She got her first shot of the vaccine, the COVID vaccine. And there was something about seeing that happen. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is fantastic. And I'm like, let's go. It's actually happening. So it'd be great to see some speed to market on that. Our sponsor for today's show is Armstrong Commercial Ceilings. And Armstrong makes a full line of innovative ceiling technologies, both for new construction and for reconstruction. And they're hitting some of those key points we're hearing so much about in the marketplace. Cleaner, quieter, and really top of the list, they help with air quality. And that is at the top of everybody's list. So check out their full product line. They're there to help you. There's been a lot of buzz around EV, electric vehicles. My gosh, the buzz around Tesla and really Ford and everybody touching it is through the roof. But how do you plan for that if you're putting together a multifamily structure? What do you do for EV stations? And how do you do it correctly? The secret, plan early, have a strategy, not just for launch, but also for growth.
I understand one of the most important things is getting started early on the projects for both particularly for new construction.
Absolutely. If you're building something new, make sure that you've got your EV charging, a strategy thought out, day one as much as you can, and not only be thinking about what you're going to deliver on your ribbon cutting opening day, but, the future proofing of that asset. What is your demand going to be looking like 3 years out, 5 years out, and that sort of thing. And
right.
Making sure you've got electrical capacity, conduit, all that sort of stuff.
Right.
Planned in.
And you've got, as a property manager, you've got a lot more properties under management than you're building new. And if you're going to be retrofitting, that retrofit requires a different set of considerations, doesn't it?
Exactly. The installation costs are going to be considerably higher on a retrofit versus a new construction. So you'll likely be looking to install, adjacent to an electrical room. You're going to need to consider, what your parking capacity is versus, current demand. How many parking spaces can you, quote unquote, sacrifice, right, for EV charging only, and that sort of thing. So there's, similar but different looking at retrofit versus, new construction.
Wow, there's a lot there. And so many benefits that can be had by doing it correctly. But the real challenge is that growth part, because reconstruction, adding in EV charging stations reconstruction-wise, is expensive. So those people that are able to predict the right number of units, they're going to do very, very well. So another thing that we like to look at is how is COVID and codes and building science and technology changing everything that we're doing. So we talked to a firm in New York, and they do fire protection. And they've come up with a really great way to handle each one of these situations. And they have a company mantra, unique solutions for unique problems. And you want to know something? I think customization probably carries the day.
One larger trend that we try to incorporate into everything we do from an infrastructure standpoint is new methods and new ways to find unique solutions for unique problems. And traditionally, building codes are written in the way that they tell you what to do. They prescribe exactly how to do certain things, or what methods and materials to use, for example. But a lot of people are not aware that building codes include, most building codes include an equivalency clause. What that equivalency clause allows is it allows the design team to use alternative methods and materials if approved by the local authority. And if we can prove that they provide an equivalent level of protection, performance, whatever the prescriptive code requirement might be, we can use these alternative ideas if they're accepted. So once we are able to establish our methodology to go through that avenue, it opens a lot of doors to innovation for us. And this is very helpful. And I mentioned like unique solutions for unique problems. It really comes into play when we're doing work that has these unique challenges, like when we're trying to renovate or transform an existing historic building or landmark building, where we have severe architectural constraints or landmark constraints that we need to work with. So we're always working to further that methodology in-house and throughout the industry.
We've been highlighting experts over the last couple of weeks on the weekly, and that's a perfect example. When a company really concentrates in an area and brings those customized solutions to the marketplace, they become market leaders. It's a good thing. So thank you for joining us this week. If you'd like to watch any of our segments, they're available on Horizon TV and on YouTube. Any suggestions you may have about the show, please email me. Here's my email address. Big shout out to our sponsor, Armstrong Commercial Ceilings. They're in many different markets: healthcare, education, office, and that line of products they're bringing right now is perfect for this COVID and post-COVID environment. Super Bowl today, I got the Chiefs. You'll see how I do as a predictor. Hopefully I'm right. Be safe and look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Thanks a lot.